What's up, guys? I'm Ryan Rich, back again to bring you the second installment of this series of going through and reviewing now the second book, More Scaries to Tell in the Dark, in the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark series. I'm so excited to be doing this, and I thank you so much for joining me here today. One thing I realized I didn't do adequately or at all in the first video was explain the sort of system we're going on here. It's a tier list system, the rating S, A, B, C, D, E, F system. So first, starting from the bottom, F is going to be something I actually dislike. And again, this is all just my opinion. E is, okay. It's not really at the level, I guess, of a scary story even. It's just not necessarily adequate, but it's not something I necessarily dislike. D is, okay, it's a scary story, I guess. Maybe, kind of. C is, okay, it's a scary story, but I guess it's just kind of a played out one, or one that doesn't really bring much to the table. B is an alright story. It's going to have its flaws, it may have some problems with it, but it's one that if it was told, it wouldn't detract from the night. It would at worst be a neutral experience. A is a story that's guaranteed to add to the night, to add to your overall scary storytelling experience. It's going to add to the night. It's going to bring something cool and new to the table. It's going to be fun. S tier, those are the stories that you're going to be looking forward to telling. And anyone who's heard the stories before, even if they're there with other people who haven't heard them before, are going to be looking forward to hearing them again. Those are the ones that are going to stick with you. They're going to stand out. Those all start with S, right? That's why they're S tier. These are the stories that are going to give you the most vivid visuals, are going to spook you the most, and are going to be the most fun to tell when it's dark out. Alright, let's start off with the first chapter. When she saw him, she screamed and ran. First story, something was wrong. It's going to get a C. This idea of he was already dead, but he didn't know it, is played out. I guess this is kind of a pretty original one or story in that genre. It's alright. It sounds like there's a plane dive bombing behind me. It's not bad though, so C. The Wreck, B. Also kind of played out that idea of someone dying, or they didn't realize they had been dead the whole time, or a spirit the whole time, and then they find an object with them that they gave to them while they were together with the live person. But this is a good ambassador for the genre. When I say a good ambassador for a genre, what I mean is, say, if someone hasn't heard a story in that genre especially, or if you want to sum it up with one story, this is a good one to tell. It's a good one to represent this idea and to do it well. One Sunday Morning, B. It's a cool story. I can't say anything bad about it. There's a somewhat upsetting element of it. I think about rushing to go somewhere and then you realize, oh my God, everyone's dead. Like your average Monday commute. They're dead inside instead. Because of that little disturbing element to the story, though, seriously, I'm going to give it a B. Sounds, B. B because it could have been better and could have used some more build-up, I think. It really did just kind of jump in there and then flash, fizzle out. Speaking of flash, so that idea of the flash and the lightning and then seeing that face is a really vivid visual, especially if you're in the woods and it's dark and there's a flash. It's a good story. I'll give it a B. A Weird Blue Light, C. This is a story that I don't think is really supposed to be told like a scary story to tell in the dark. This is more an interesting informational thing about, John Lafitte, who was a real pirate. He is still said to haunt the area where his ship went down and he was killed. There are stories like this. If this was told from a story of real life or maybe a book about potential ghost encounters, this might fit, but this isn't really a scary story to tell in the dark. I'll give it a C. However, because it has that real life element to it and is based in reality, I will give it a C. Somebody Fell from a Loft, S. This is another one I did on this channel. I think it's a great story. It's so cool how it's told from first person. That gives you a lot more room to work with the character. He's sort of figuring things out and seeing things as you are, instead of, and then he did this, and then MacLeod did this. Oh my goodness. The story itself, I think, has great build-up, great theme of revenge beyond the grave, done very well. It's so disturbing and freaky. Everyone's creeped out around a dead body, right? But this dead body, it actually gives you a little bit of a reason to get creeped out, because when the one guy decides to do something about it, even though no one should be afraid of someone who's already dead. It comes to life and wraps its arms around him. That's so disturbing. Plus, it has a perfect drawing. Check that out. Look how beautiful that is. That just fits the energy of the story perfectly. It's set up very well on top of everything. Altogether, it's definite S. The Little Black Dog, C. It's a good story. It's just a little bit played out. No one else can see it except for this guy. It's okay. I think it as a story is a little bit lacking. I think it relies only on that one trope. Next, Clinkety Clink. I'm going to give it a B. Really, lady? You're going to come back to the dead and haunt some guy and just terrorize him over $2 freaking? You're dead. What are you going to do with that money? This is also another story which demonizes the poor. Even though it's a bit dragged, coming out and building up, it's still a funny story. It's fun. Hearing the contrast of the woman coming back and the guy, lordy, and the or clinkety clink, and it still has a definite fun energy to it. That's why I'm going to give it a B. To keep it fun, though, you really got to embody the woman and the gravedigger guy. You got to keep that energy. You got to act. All right, now we're on to the next chapter. She was spitting and yowling just like a cat. The first story here, The Bride, is going to be a definite S. This is such a disturbing notion, that of going hide and seek. It's somewhat relatable, playing hide and seek and going, oh my God, what if something happened and no one found me? I'm here alone, oh my God. It's freaky. It's so disturbing knowing that she was there and everyone thought she was just gone, but she had been dead the whole time and no one knew it. Just, S tier. Rings on her fingers, B. This is another one that's just attacking the poor. The guy's trying to make a quick buck. They buried the lady with some priceless diamonds and ruby. I mean, come on, just let the guy make some money. Seriously, it's a good story. It has a little bit of that factual basis, unfortunately, about people being buried alive when medicine wasn't necessarily advanced as it is today. The whole live burial thing is something that is so disturbing to, I think, everybody. I think everybody's worried about that once. But it's funny how this one ends. It's not like digging up the coffin and seeing the scratch marks. Jesus Christ, that's so freaking scary. It's kind of a fun story, B. The Drum, A. It's upsetting, especially if you're younger. The whole keep going, oh my, we'll be better, I'm so sorry. And then they go too far and they can't go back. Especially if you're younger, that's going to be really upsetting. It takes one hell of a turn from what you'd expect. It kind of drags on though, but maybe that's necessary setup. Anyway, the story delivers. I'm going to give it an A. The Window, A. This is such a terrifying notion. Being blocked by that window between the door. I think everyone's had nights where they wake up staring at the window there and being afraid to go to the bathroom. I'm glad they didn't have the creature just come back the next night. They said it was a month later. But how the hell did she stay in that room after what happened? She should be sleeping in the living room with the brothers with a pistol of her own. How is this okay? How is she all right with it? Just might come back one night. I don't get it. She's crazy. A. Wonderful Sausage. S. What a great drawing. The story's hilarious. Who doesn't love eating children? It's one of those stories that's not really scary, but just great to tell. Because it's from his perspective, the perspective of the killer, the butcher guy, it makes it kind of fun. It makes it fun. It's just his struggle to try and meet the demand for his wonderful sausage. Again, just a guy trying to make a buck. This is a great story. It's a lot of fun, and you'll never not have people enjoy hearing it. S tier. The Cat's Paw, B. You know, it really seems like these people who turn into animals just never get away with it. It's an alright story. It's funny, but it doesn't really add anything to the night or to this genre. I can't have much reason to complain. It's just not remarkable enough to make an A or higher. I'm gonna give it a B. The Voice, C. It's okay. If you're gonna go with one of these type of stories, maybe pick a better one. This may just be personal. I'm not a big fan of it. It's basic. It's a basic story. And Ellen, how are you going to let all this happen and wait until they are in the room saying, now I got you, to call out for help? Come on, Ellen. Now, next chapter, when I wake up, everything will be alright. Oh, Susanna, won't you scold her bee? It has a gorgeous, haunting drawing. It's a really disturbing notion, thinking someone's there singing to you, but they've been dead the whole time. But maybe it could have made the ending a little more satisfying. I'm a fan of ambiguous endings, but maybe more or maybe less. Maybe not have the when I wake up everything will be alright thing. Or maybe add a little bit more. Just one more little fun ambiguous sentence. It seems missing something from me. But it's pretty good. I'll give it a B. A lot of B's. A lot of B's this time around. The Man in the Middle. B. It's kind of funny. It's a little unnerving. Not too disturbing though. Like I feel like it doesn't get you that invested enough. Or honestly, that lady could have just walked off the subway and be like, damn, life's rough out here. B tier. All these B tier stories just trying to make it. The Cat in the Shopping Bag. A. This is a great one. It's so refreshing to have a main character who's just so rambunctious like this. The ending where she not only follows her to see what she did, but goes to the effort to give the cat bag back. It's just hilarious. I mean, I don't know why I wouldn't say this is S tier just compared to the others. It's like, I guess more of a joke. It's not as much the scary stories thing. It's just so freaking funny. I love this story. It's hilarious. Definite A tier. You know what? A+. The Bed by the Window. True S tier. Finally, the elderly population getting some attention here in the nursing room setting. It's such an interesting scenario with a hell of a twist. Was it the other guy at that part of the room just making these things up? Or was this sort of this karmic retribution for killing him? It's a very interesting, ambiguous ending, but still leaves you satisfied. It's a really cool and really human story. S. The Dead Man's Hand. C. It's pretty good. Everyone knows that feeling of that one person who's just too freaking perfect. And that urge your body just gets to take him down a peg. But why'd her mind break over this? I know it's a hand and it's upsetting. I'd be upset too if I found a dead guy's hand that I grabbed trying to turn on the closet light in the dark. But I would be kind of rattled by it, but I'd get over it pretty quick. I'm sorry, especially if I was a nursing student. I wouldn't sit there staring. I'd be concerned about a killer in there or something. It's upsetting, but definitely not that serious. A Ghost in the Mirror. C. C for cool, kinda, if you're a child. I remember reading this when I was a younger individual and thinking, I don't want to do this crap. This is the stuff everyone's done or it's joked about. I remember at that age saying, I want to get rattled. I want to break into an insane asylum. I want to do something more like that. I want to do a seance at night. I don't want to be sitting in front of a mirror saying any ghost 47 times or 100 times. Chances are, if you were like me, you want a better scare than this even when you were a kid. But it can still be fun. And honestly, doing this might scare me a little bit today. But it's still a little bit of boring and requires a little bit of work. Still not going to go do it. C. The Curse. A. This is a great one. I love how it's told from the perspective of someone telling this first person scary story about their real experience. The idea of the inevitability of this curse, the mystery of what happened in that house on that night, and the idea of the innocent thing gone wrong, or where they don't really know if it's gone wrong. That stuff's haunting. And now we are on to The Last Laugh. The first story is The Church. It's going to get a C. It just doesn't get me. It may be kind of hard to communicate. It's the guy saw a bunch of white shadows or white shrouds turn out to be sheep. Caught me. C. Maybe E. The Bad News. B or maybe A. It's a decent story. It's fun. I like it. And it's actually kind of sweet. The only reason I wouldn't rate it higher or maybe stick with a B is because I don't think it really fits the scary story. It's so sweet. I don't know. I really like this story. Cemetery Soup. C. It's okay. I like how it's another story about eating someone or part of them out of ignorance, willful or not. I like how she still ate the soup at the end. Overall, though, it's not super useful as a story. See, The brown suit, A. This is a good one. This is another good, funny one. It's a good joke. It's a good joke. It reminds me of In the Vault by H.P. Lovecraft. You should check that story out. Just Google it. I'm sure you can find it. It's a little longer. It's not the same bit here, but it's a similar premise enough that if you enjoyed this or enjoy this as a joke, I think you would enjoy this story. A. Baroom. E. What the hell am I supposed to do with this? Am I supposed to just, oh, there he is, Dad, and O'Reilly don't know it. Baroom. Alright, next. Come on. For not being as contrived as a man who lived in Leeds, it'll get an E. Thumpity thumping. A. This is one that I feel bad for that chair, man. He's just trying so hard to do a good thing, and man, people in the world, especially in this story, are just kind of assholes. I mean, they left this murder unsolved. They were worried they would get blamed, but I don't really think that would happen. I think people would understand. Poor guy, poor chair. It really is such a unique story. I haven't heard one like this. Poor guy, poor chair, good story. A. That's it. That seems quicker than the other video or all the other stories in the first book. Second things in series are always kind of weird. I just don't think the stories in this book overall stacked up compared to the first or the third one. Let me know what you think, though. Let me know what your favorite story is. If you're enjoying these videos, what type of candle you want to see next. Thank you so much for joining me here. I'm Ryan Rich, and I can't wait to see you next time.